Hi everybody, welcome to the fourth TIC Tech, that is the Profesia vision about tech and digital business. Profesia helps digital company to align business and IT needs by shaping modern approach of IT development. Usually, as you know, we have Italian discussion, but today we will speak in English and you see the Italian subtitles on the video. Today, I'm very excited because we have a very special session. We will have a duel, a friendly duel, of course, between Asanka and Matteo, the CTO of WSO2 and Profesia, respectively. The aim of today is to give you a very special point of view of the future, relating to the evolution that the modern landscape is in store for us over the next 2 years, but also to prepare ourselves in the right way for challenges and opportunities. So before starting this very cool interview, I want just to remind you 2 physical events that you cannot miss. The first one is the WSO2 Con on May 7 to 9 in Hollywood. So Profesia will be there with a sponsor booth, and also Asanka for sure will be there. And listen, we have some tickets available for free, so come on, ask us how to get it. The second meeting is the WSO2 Oxygenate Italy, that is coming on the 2nd of October this year in Milan. We are preparing a very cool networking space by involving customers, experts, and the claim of the event is open your platform mind. So yes, the idea is that we need to open our mind to welcome innovation. Okay, let's start this duel. And Asanka, Matteo, first of all, thank you for joining. Please, could you introduce yourself and share a bit about your expertise and why did you agree to submit to this duel? Asanka, please.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Asanka Singh, CTO at WSO2. Been in the industry for more than 20 years and been with WSO2 for more than 16 years. Coming from application architecture and application engineering background. So why I accepted the invitation, because yes, we are business partners, but Matteo is a really good friend of mine and he has a ton of experience in the industry. So if you are getting into a debate, you should get into a debate with somebody better than you. So that's the key reason for joining this conversation.
Okay, thank you. Matteo.
Thank you, Asanka. I'm Matteo. I'm a CTO of Profesia. I'm a shy tech people and try to learn more things about all the projects we are involved. And I like to transfer this knowledge to my customer and to other people. I started working in 1996 as a developer, and I increased my competence during my work life. Why I would like to accept this? Because for me it's mandatory. Marcella, obviously no, is joking. I'm a chat because I like the comparison, and for me it's a good way to increase our knowledge about not only the WSO2 product, but also all the technical conversation.
Okay, thank you, guys. Today, we would like to point our binoculars towards a future time that is ever closer. So, as to prepare our audience to equip themselves in the right way, both from the technological and the cultural point of view. Speaking about API strategy, YAM and integration, Mans, can you tell me what will happen in the next 2 years? I know it's a very difficult question, but let's try to figure out.
Yeah. Matteo, shall I start?
Yeah, you can start.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So I think the API management, integration, and identity and access management, these are the foundation for any digital platform. So without having these 3 pillars, it's really hard to build a proper digital platform and provide digital experiences. So it will remain as the core in the future as well. But I think there are a lot of changes happening in the technology side. New technologies coming, and things like moving to cloud, and a lot of improvements happening in various aspects of these sub-technologies. And then the standards are coming up, regulations are coming up. So these three technologies will adjust to those technical and business requirements and evolve, but it will remain as the foundation for any organization in the future and near future as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, I agree about this free pillar must be remain the basic for the environment. But I have some idea about the authentication authorization related to the API. In the next 2 years, for me, the API must be the unique way to interchange data and authorization. Yeah. And the authorization to consume API will be based on the personal authentication. So for me, the next step is to disable the server-to-server communication authorization and enable the user to API authentication and authorization. Because I think that the human interaction between the API, it is the next step of the API consuming and the API security. So we move into cloud, and where we move into cloud in the next step, who consumes services is not the company, but it is the human. So we have to think how to change our authentication to authenticate correctly to the user, not to the application. And I think that some AI interaction will help us to improve this kind of authentication authorization. And for me, something like the Apache Common Library, what we use in the past year, probably will be replaced by the AI Apache Common Driver. So it could be a possibility.
It's a good point of view. So Asanka, what is the WSO2 strategy to address these challenges that are coming up?
Yeah, so I think Matteo made a really good point about the personalization and then how the identity and access management space will change with that. And we have seen that change happening in some of the larger enterprises as well, how they kind of connect these user profiles with their personalized experience. So that's where the customer identity and access management will come and play a role here. So we have already started supporting that. So CIAM is a major use case that we are supporting in our IAM product stack, and we are going to extend it. And I introduced this concept called digital double in I think 2016 timeframe, how the physical representation of anything, a person, thing, place can represent inside the digital universe. And there are a few other concepts like digital twin came after that. So that way, each and every digital double can have all these attributes. So in that way, you can extend this authorization, authentication, and entitlement with the these behavioral authorization and authentication, as well as use these properties associated to the person and extend it using those properties. So that we have already started and working on the product. And then the synergy between API management and identity is important, as Matteo highlighted. So that's already happening, that you can seamlessly integrate our API management platform with our identity and access management platform. Not only that, if you have a third-party identity and access management system, API management can support it. On the other hand, our IAM product can connect with any other API management system as well. So that flexibility is there and the interoperability is there, so you can extend your deployment and the development based on the architecture that you are identifying. So on the other hand, the integration is, I think, overshadowed by API management for some reason during last decade. But now people identifying the importance of integration, because without having proper integrations, you can't build a meaningful API, a set of APIs, because every organization using many systems and subsystems, those can be internal systems and external systems. So you need to build a proper integration and create these APIs. Not only that, now the architecture styles are changing. In the past, we used to use this centralized integration that we called as ESB, or the enterprise service bus, but with microservices and containers coming into the picture, now integration has moved to decentralized architecture as well. So how we can support it? That's where we introduced the micro integrator as a lightweight integration component that you can write these integrations and run it in a decentralized manner. Not only that, integration can be very complicated when it comes to an enterprise. That's where we introduce this language called Ballerina, which is specialized or optimized for integrations, that you can use it to develop your integrations as well as run it in a decentralized way.
Thank you. Matteo, what about Profesia's vision about it?
Yeah, in Profesia understand that there are a lot of products now in WSO2 and also in the other partnership. So we increase our portfolio because we are a partner. We don't have only one product, but we have a lot of product. So we try to increase it to help user to move in the new step. It is move to cloud or increase the on-prem infrastructure. What we are trying now, it is analyze if the AI product help us to generate something. So the generator approach is something that we are analyzing now. And we are increase our competence to become hybrid. So we hybrid our knowledge to understand not only API management or identity server or on-prem or cloud, but we are trying to create a lot of knowledge inside Profesia to understand as soon as possible a lot of product and a lot of approach.
Holistic approach.
Yeah, so. And the other thing, it is a capability to map all requirement for the project, because we understand that in this moment it's most important to understand which is the requirement inside the project. If we have correct understand the requirement, we are able to help customer to identify the correct product, the correct approach, the correct configuration also for WSO2 application. So for us, map all the requirement that we use during the project, the customer project, is the base for decide which is the best approach that to have to put into a project. So it is what we have to do in this moment.
Yeah, I think that's a great approach, Matteo. And as a partner, what we can do, like we can provide a lot of reference architectures for you from our learnings, as well as we can have a lot of architecture exchange sessions, and then the training and certification might be really helpful for you as well.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, now guys, I want to put some pepper into this interview. So the topic is cloud versus on-prem. So WSO2 is turning into a SaaS solution. Asanka, which is the, let me say, cloud situation on the international point of view? Any consideration do you want to focus on? Please make us
Yeah,
a
I think,
picture.
yeah, there's a interest, like a big interest to move into the cloud, and especially North America, Western Europe, we see this trend. And at the same time, there's this initiative called cloud repatriation. That cloud repatriation means moving back to the data center is happening as well. So it's up to the organization and what's their goals, what they want to do. End of the day, it's not the technology, right? It's a business. So what and how you can add more value to the business is where the technology should support. So I think that's where the choose whether you are moving to cloud or you are building your own private cloud in your data center will come and play a role. So it's up to the enterprise architecture team to decide which option that they should take. But with these hyperscalers are providing enough storage and then ability to scale, organizations are moving to cloud rapidly because then it's a problem that they can just forget about because they don't have to worry about the hardware or how they scale. And in the modern application consumption, because the applications are in the app stores, applications are on the web. So you don't know the load that come and hit that particular application. It can be due to a geographic, a weather type of a condition or political condition or some kind of a effect might increase the load. So you should be able to scale it. So that's where I think cloud is really helpful. At the same time, organizations invest a lot to their data centers during last 2 decades. So now these are idling, so how they can use it. That's where the cloud repatriation coming and helping these organizations to use these data centers. So Kubernetes is playing a role here, because now Kubernetes has become the Linux in networking. So when you deploy into Kubernetes, it's creating an abstraction layer. So either if you use a hyperscaler and their Kubernetes cluster or your own Kubernetes cluster, you don't change the application. So that way you have the flexibility to run it in a hyperscaler or run it in your own Kubernetes cluster, or you can switch, or you can do a hybrid deployment as well. So that is the cloud movement. To support this, what we are doing as a technology company, two approaches. One, we have our SaaS products, which can run on any cloud service provider, as well as we are optimizing our software stack to become cloud native. So if you are running it by yourself, then it will be performed really well in the cloud infrastructures, because lift and shift is one approach, right? You can just take your workloads and then run it in a cloud infrastructure, but running inside the cloud is different. So how it married to the cloud or how it is cloud native is what matters, and our products are shaping up nicely. And if you notice that we released something called API platform for Kubernetes, specifically done for Kubernetes environments like that. All the other products are optimizing day by day with the changes happening in the cloud and cloud related technologies.
Perfect, thank you. Matteo, in Italy, it seems that cloud is not so fast and easy. And even if in 2023, Italy registered plus 20%, so quite fine. But Matteo, why Italy is so slow in turning into the cloud, although so many economic helps from Europe and so on? There is anything wrong in the Italian recipe or what? What do you think about?
I think that there are nothing wrong to the recipe, but because we are in Italian context, so we have in particular context, and I have some consideration. We have some configuration to analyze and to understand the moving to cloud. The first one, the main cloud providers start to have an infrastructure in Italy only in the last year. before the last 2 years, we don't have an Italian region, for example, for AWS or for Azure or for Google. So we have to use the European one. And for some particular legislation, it's not possible to move some data in no Italy region.
So security issue.
Not only for security issue, because for security issue, we can stay into Europe for GDPR compliant, but for other legislation related for security internal issue, because some bank, some insurance company have some internal legislation that didn't accept to move data outside their data center. So now we are able to put the data center in Italy, and it was easy to have this legislation compliant also to the moving. The second one is that some Italian legislation not help company to move into cloud for the security implementation legislation, and also because there is some law in Italy that not help to transform the normal data movement into the European movement. The third one is the technical knowledge. So the capacity to move in quick mode from on-prem to cloud. In Italy, there is a lot of mainframe. And the mainframe is not very, very easy to move. It's not a technology problem. Also because it's not easy to put a mainframe and transfer it into the cloud on AWS. We have to move the entire hardware if you want to move it in cloud. So the main problem is how to convert the mainframe into a cloud solution. In some cases, we are trying to move application mainframe base into cloud with a particular project to move into cloud from a mainframe infrastructure. But it's not an easy shift left, but it is a completely refactor about the application. So it's why it's not easy to move a mainframe in cloud. And the last one, in some cases, the budget investment and the vision of the company, we are not in the same position. So Italy is working in the last 2 years to move into cloud environment. The public administration started during this year.
Yeah.
Also because now there is a legislation that help the PA to move into cloud, and there is the real possibility to move from on-prem to cloud without any security issue.
Okay, thank you. So the journey to cloud is easy, but also not in some cases. So okay, after IT moves to the cloud, we can welcome platformless concept, right? So which is Asanka the correct timing to go platformless for a digital company? And then another question that is very important for me: will the developers disappear? Please tell me no, but thank you.
Yeah. So so the cloud enables platformless, but it's not a dependency. So having a cloud infrastructure is easy to become platformless, because then you can have that journey in a quicker interval. So the platformless means, yes, the technology is there, and every company required a platform, right? Because platform abstracts the complexity that you see in the technology. So that way, that particular abstraction will help you to focus on the business problems and build applications on top of that technology platform. In platformless, what we are telling, platform is not disappearing. It's just a focus shift, that you are not focusing on the platform, you are just building applications on top of that. And there are two approaches to platformless. One, you build your platform with a dedicated team by treating it as a product, because it's not a project that will end during a certain time. You have to keep on improving it. So that is the first approach. Number two, you buy the platform. You select the correct platform and get or subscribe to that and use it as your internal developer platform. That way you become platformless as well. So the cloud related features are enabling it, and then fast tracking is, as I explained earlier. So the platformless should be, I think, start at the beginning, at least to think about it. So because when you assembling these digital experiences, you will form a single platform or number of platforms. When you come to that stage, I think it's better to consider this concept, because it's not only about focus shift. We are discussing about what are the key capabilities that platformless should deliver. API first, cloud native middleware, platform engineering, and developer experience. So those are the four capabilities, and I'm answering your question with developer experience, because developer experience is the key, because developers are the people who's crafting these digital experiences. So as long as you can make them productive, you can get a proper quality output. So whole purpose of this exercise or the concept is how you can make the developer productive. So developers will not disappear. They will enjoy the development without getting distracted with other stuff or the complexity that they have behind when they develop these applications.
Thank you. Thank you. What about you, Matteo?
Oh, yeah, the developer didn't disappear. It is impossible to remove the developer.
So developers, come on. Go to the WSO2Con to know more about platformless. That is the new trend of the next years.
For me, the developer is like the sun. If the developer disappears, the world stops to run. It's impossible to not have developer. We change the skin. We change the skin, and we can develop the application in the best way using what? Using the internal platform or a solution platform or something that we buy. So we can use our platform that we develop with experiences, or we can buy a platform and use a platformless solution to develop the new application. So if we decide, when we decide to have or not to have a custom platform, depends how we are developing internally. So we have some company that he has a lot of not standard implementation. So it's not easy to move this kind of implementation in a not platform or in a standard platform solution. So the best approach is to have a standard integration, a standard approach, a standard CI/CD approach to create application, manage it, monitor it. When we have internally a standard solution about it, we can also decide if it's time to remove our platform and buy another one, or increase our platform. The best approach is not to invent everything every time, but try to reuse what we can find outside our company.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this very interesting discussion. But okay, now let's come back to the reality. What do you think about the common elements of WSO2 customers? So WSO2 is a cross-market technology. So you can tell us, Asanka, what about around the world happen. So what are what is the common elements, and also what are the needs that it mainly solves?
Yeah, so the WSO2
product, please.
Got it. Yeah, so the WSO2 products built using open standards. That's why the products can be used in any business domain. That's why we have a variety of business domains, starting from financial sector to government, into education, healthcare, so on and so forth. So that is the first reason.
The power of WSO2.
Exactly. And then since the open standards, they can build solutions on top of that very easily. And the second reason is the functionality richness, because we provide almost every functionality required for these enterprises, so they can easily build these solutions. And the extensibility. So as Matteo said, like there can be situations that a specific requirement is not a standard requirement. It can be specific for that particular organization. So that's where the extensibility is coming. So with the open architecture and open source principles, that we have a lot of extensibility in these products. Even our SaaS products, when it comes to SaaS, there's a limitation, but we are providing enough configurations for an administrator to configure these products, as well as an enterprise architect to put the enterprise architecture policies and guidelines into the platform. So those flexibilities provided. So that's why we have a very rich portfolio of customers. So the nature of these customers, everybody's hunger about building digital experiences for their customers. And our goal and objective is basically how we can simplify it and how we can help them to quickly deliver these digital experiences. Because if you look at a business, the digital experiences that they are building are the differentiators. So how quickly they can build these things and put it to the market matters a lot. So that's where we are trying to simplify it by bringing all the latest technologies and let the technology problem for us, and let the business problems the focus for the customer, and for them to build the application. So that's where the products are heading and our main objectives. And to do that, we have various programs, we have technical people, and we have a really rich partner network like Profesia, who's very professional and thorough about WSO2 technologies, and then various other programs like certifications and training, helping to expedite that journey of building these digital experiences.
Thank you. Matteo, are you agree? Tell me no, please.
No, it's impossible. No, I agree. And what in my opinion, in our customer reuse a lot. He would like to reuse a wheel, but he prefer to change the color. So he would like to have a wheel, but not in every way black or red, but he would like to change the color. So in our customer, we have a lot of innovation. In the project, the customer use the standard and implement it, but we have a custom integration using API. So there is something standard and something custom. It is why we use WSO2, because we can use the standard. When we can use standard, the standard is working, is up and running, but we can extend it and we can adapt to the internal approach of the customer. So for my point of view, our customer, he has innovation and capability to involve and reuse what other people already implement in our solution. It's why we decided to use this kind of product. We use something stable, but we can create and involve the product to what we need to inside the project.
Yeah, I think the composability and the modularity, right? So yeah, it's very important for an organization, so that way they can reuse and repurpose these stuff that they do.
Yeah, because we are able to add value to the project. We create something that is stable, it is the standard, and then we add other value, and the other value is the capability of the customer to increase and to implement its requirement.
In a very short time, I can add. Okay. So I couldn't get you to fight, and I don't know. It's impossible. Okay, thank you guys. It was very, very interesting to hear from you. Just a last pillow, a last pills. From tomorrow on, in your opinion, which are the next steps to follow for a digital company in order to be prepared for the next digital challenges?
Yeah, so I think the main thing is how you can feed into the value stream of the organization, because as I explained earlier, technology is an enabler. So when we make a decision, I think we have to make that decision by looking at how we can influence the business and what's the value that we can add. Based on that, we have to make all these technology decisions. So I think finding that middle path. So actually, Sanjeev, our CEO, and myself, we are doing a podcast called Discovering the Architecture Middle Path as well, specifically to address this problem, because always we need to find that middle path and then see what's the technology advancement we can do, as well as what's the business value we can deliver, and then make that call without going behind buzzwords that we hear in the industry. So I think that's my advice, and most of the stuff that we discuss, Matteo and me, will help these organizations to be more innovative and deliver these digital experiences in a faster way. And then the portfolio of WSO2 products are supporting this to a great extent. And we always willing to take their feedback as well on where are the improvements that we can make and what are the new features that we should add. So I think that's my advice for all the users.
Thank you. Matteo?
For me, it's to start to speak as in divide mode. So design application is to separate area, domain, approach. So it will be easy to decide where to move application. If I create a single little area inside my application, I can move it. I can decide to remain on-prem, I can decide to move on cloud, I can decide to implement in a language or in another. So the most important is to speak to learn to divide the application in a single piece, because in sometimes we don't have an idea how to divide our application. And use the common architectural approach to the same project. So try to standardize the internal development. So decide to use the same approach to the same application, and standardize not only the development, but also monitoring, logging, and invest time to analyze the requirement. So don't try to think only to the technology, but try to understand also what our end user would like to have. So it's not only the tech approach the best to have, but also what our customer would like to have for our application. Yeah,
the user at the center.
For me, in the future, the user it is the big center of our solution.
I think now company, you need to think about the user starting from now.
We start digitalization in some years before, because there is a lot of time that we go into the digitalization. But at the beginning, digitalization is only move paper into bit and byte. Yeah. But we maintain the same number of chapter and the same number of row in the document that we write. Now it's time to understand what the user would like to see and what the user would like to read. And it is completely different. It's not only to create bit byte, but is to harmonize bit byting so the user
can to make an experience.
To give a correct experience to the end user.
Yeah, I call it as outside-in approach.
Okay, outside-in approach. Okay, guys, really thank you for joining, and now please, guys, follow us on our LinkedIn page and on our YouTube channel. We are waiting for you to speak about employee experience empowerment next May 15 at 3 p.m. on both LinkedIn and YouTube Live. So thank you, guys. See you on the next chapter of TIC TAC Tech.